Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to chat with you guys a little bit about the deadlift and why I feel the deadlift is a safe exercise. Again, people have tried to make it out to be this extremely dangerous exercise to where they're like, oh, the risk isn't worth it. You know, Same guys will do a preacher curl, though, which has ripped more biceps off the bone than any other exercise in recorded history, but I digress. You guys just watched me in my late 40s do a 635. That is 635 pounds. That's over 280 kilograms. I believe it was, about 285 kg. These guys just saw me do that in that opening clip of calibrated plates. So I'm doing that as an old man. Well, old's a subjective term. Here's my position on this. Again, people are like, it's dangerous, it's risky, but if you don't do it correctly, but isn't that true of anything? And I mean, seriously, isn't that true of anything? I mean, haven't we seen people have just almost catastrophic injuries on leg presses? Right? Machines. How about the Smith machine? How many people have died under the Smith machine? Even in recent years, it's been televised. Leg presses, Smith machines, those things hurt people all the time. Do we see them highlighted as dangerous? Oh, it's just not worth the risk. Come on. No, but they have a hell of a track record. So let's talk about how you get hurt on the deadlift. All right, the two big concerns are usually going to be what? Ripping biceps. Notice my arms are completely straight before I pull off the floor, thus eliminating the bicep risk. Okay, ripping biceps and then herniating discs in the back. Okay, there have been studies done on back flexion, pulling and things and injury rates, and here's what the best researchers have said. The risk of injury is low even with a rounded back if you start in a rounded back position. The risk is significantly elevated if your back rounds after the weight breaks off the floor. Okay? And that's where we run into issues. People who have gradually built up, even with a rounded back, they've built the tissue and musculature to be able to handle it up over time. The injury risk is low. Is it zero? No. But it's relatively low. Again, all things considered. Now, when you look at the research that's been done out there, the fourth leading cause of disc herniations is picking things up with a rounded back. I want to note that doesn't even include lifters. That's picking things up with a rounded back flexion. Okay. Number 4. Do you know what number 1 on the list was? Cause of disc herniations? Being sedentary. Not picking anything up at all. Being sedentary and not exercising is the leading cause of herniations of discs in the back. Number 4 down the list, and I don't remember what 2 and 3 were. Number 4 down the list, and it was way down the list in terms of percentages, was picking things up with a rounded back. You are more likely to be hurt being sedentary and not exercising than by deadlifting with a rounded back. That's what it says. Now, once you're trained lifters, the risk is lower. Now, I don't think people should necessarily be pulling with the rounded back because of that. I think it's still probably better to not do so. And again, it's lower back, upper back. There's not really been found to be any real correlation. Just an FYI. Okay, where you run into trouble is if it rounds after. So if you're trying to pull with the upper back in extension and then it rounds after, that's a problem. All right. You're more likely to get hurt in the car ride on your way to the gym than you are deadlifting, statistically speaking. So you have that. Number 2, I find that most people who hurt their backs on deadlifts are doing touch and go reps or not resetting. They're bouncing the weight off the floor. And losing tightness. That bounce, things get catawampus. Makes sense. All right, that's where we see those injuries. All right, biceps. Stop bending your elbows. It's that simple. Now, how many guys, because of the way they go down, they jerk the weight up with the arms bent instead of locking the elbows like you see me doing and then easing into wedging forward and pulling off the floor, smooth pull off the floor. It's even what you see me do at the 635, so I don't want to hear people say, well, I have to yank it off. Really? You just watched me as an old man, over the age of 45 at that point, smoothly pulling 635 off the floor. I want people to explain to me why they can't do that, why they have to jerk it violently. Jerk, not even an aggressive pull, but a jerk, which means slacken the arms, right? Elbows bent. Why? You want to know why you have to do it that way? Probably because you're an idiot. That's the only reason. It's not because of required to do it. You're just dumb. You're too hyped up. You're not walking over and just lifting the weights. Okay? That's probably why. Ego check. We're being stupid and just pull the weight smoothly. Alright. And no, it's not the supine grip. Yes, the supine grip is at a higher risk because it's easier to bend. And if you are bent, it's at a worse potential situation. I've seen guys rip biceps with straps and the overhand grip strapped up. People are like, oh, that makes it safe. No, it's the same thing that tears it on the supine will still tear it with a straps. It's pulling with your elbows bent. Lock your elbows out, flex your triceps. Okay? Lock your arms. Now, is there something to be said for a lot of us needing better bicep mobility and flexibility because we've gotten tight and can't always lock our arms? Okay, something to be said for that. However, again, mobility problem, technique problem, this is fixable. You see where I'm going with this? All of these problems stem from what? Ego lifting, bad form. Okay? Instead of just saying, hey, can I come in and just lift this weight smoothly? Now, even then, even with all these things done incorrectly, the injury risk is still fairly low, at least for the back. Biceps, maybe not so much. So quit jerking the weight off the floor with bent arms. Lock the elbows. Go into a smooth pull. It can still be an aggressive, fast pull. It needs to be smooth, not a jerk. Not a jerk off the floor. There's your solution. And if you don't follow this sort of rule and common sense on the deadlift, you'll follow bad common sense on a machine, and you're just as likely to get hurt on a machine doing stupid stuff. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.